Hi there folks, welcome back to RRTV. We're broadcasting tonight from Suzuka in Japan to cover the Skip Barber Monday Lights racing series. And I'd like to welcome back to the commentary box Richard Craig. How are you going tonight, Richard?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Bernie, and I'm quite looking forward to this race. I love Suzuka. I think most of the guys do as well. Very, very challenging track, so it should be a good outing tonight, mate.
Yeah, it certainly will be, and tonight, folks, we had a total of about 46 join the three splits, and tonight's top split has a great field, really, of 16 cars. So these are 16 of the top 16 for the Monday night strength of field race in Australia.
Yeah, it's another strong field, Bernie. We've got Juha Nuolampi and out of Finland. We've got Manfred Tauber, who races out of the Deitch Club. Mick Gray's in here tonight. Kevin Willman, Antoine Mays, who had a good showing and won last week. Anthony Lucas, Kevin Henderson. Yeah, it'll be pretty good. These guys have been showing good pace this week.
Yeah, that's right, and we've got Darryl Ridley out there tonight. Joshua Skin's back for another run. Who else? A new name out there, Abelardo Rodriguez Garcia. I haven't heard that name before. So welcome to tonight's race, Abelardo. So having a look at this weather tonight, my overlays are wrong, of course, but the track temp, I think, what is it, about 37 degrees out there tonight?
Yeah, that's right, Benny. 23 degrees ambient, but a 37-degree track temp, and that really is the critical factor here. There's a small wind. There's a 6k northeasterly, but the track temperature really does affect you around here. Mind you, at 37, it's not as bad as I've seen. I've seen some very high temperatures this week, but it does make it a bit slippy, slidey. This is not a really, really grippy track. It's got that very, very fine mix, which is really nice to drive on, but you do have to be really careful about pushing the car. But you'll see the boys sliding into Degner curves, so it lends itself to that as well, which is good.
Yeah, and at the moment, the fastest lap provisional pole set by Juha Nuolampi, he's done a 2:24.966, so that's a pretty quick time around here.
Yeah, it's and that was his opening lap. He's on lap 2 at the moment, so I would imagine Juha's going to get down into the mid-24s here, maybe just under 24.5, 24.3, something like that.
And he's coming down onto the back straight now, so we'll just jump on board with him as he comes up there, and he's got quite another nice paint job out there again tonight. But coming into this final corner here, Richard, what sort of gear are they taking into this big left-hand sweeper?
So that's done in top gear. You lift, I guess, to about half throttle or a bit less for some people. It's really a question of just getting the car to grip, bite, and roll, and then you return to full throttle. So you're entering around about 120 miles an hour, about 120 or so just coming out, and back up to 114, 115 before you go into that chicane.
Okay, so we'll do a lap here with you. Did you want to talk the viewers around just the gears and any points of interest of this track?
Yeah, so he's just come through the really interesting turn 1, turn 2 complex, which is about finally balancing the car. And now we're in the S's. This is all about steering the car on the throttle. There's no brake around here. It's a combination of full throttle, fully off throttle, and a little bit of feathering to get the car turned. And he'll keep it in tight and now swing to full throttle for the run up the hill through Dunlop to the first of the Degner curves. Now these Degner curves are pretty treacherous. Juha will be doing it in fourth with a dab on the brakes, and really just balancing the car and sliding it a bit across the apex, catching as little curve as he can, down to second or third for Degner 2, and then the run up to the hairpin. We're just approaching now the right-hander that caught Casey Stoner out over the weekend. He had an epic tumble. And then this hairpin here, down to first, on the throttle as early as you can. The camber of the road supports you around the corner. You can really flick it around. And then we're in a full throttle run. We'll end up in 5th gear approaching Spoon Corner. Spoon is one of those absolutely fascinating corners. It's an absolute knife-edge balancing act. This is it we're just coming into now.
So there's a bit of anti-camber, I think, through that corner, isn't there? Negative camber?
That's right. I just sort of shut up just so that viewers could hear what he was doing with the throttle, because you need to be very ginger. If you get on the throttle too soon, you definitely just run out of road coming out of Spoon. But it's the critical corner because it provides the speed for this back straight. And now we're just coming into the completion of the lap into the chicane here. And then also really critical, not to run wide out of the chicane because you're getting off track, but because this is the main straight leading down to turn 1, of course, you also need to maximize your speed. So you pulled up with a 2:24.697 after that, Bernie. Pretty smart time.
Certainly is, and that's the fastest lapper tonight. So with 46 seconds to go, we have Ewan Noralampian provisional pole, followed by Darryl Ridley at the moment. Fantastic drive by Darryl again tonight. Manfred Torber has pretty much completed his run, and he's in 3rd, followed by Anton Mays, and Anthony Lucas rounds out our top 5 at the moment.
Yes, now I would say given the conditions, some of these times don't reflect the kinds of speeds that some of these guys are capable of. We did see last week, for instance, Antoine, I think, only qualified 4th or 5th on the grid, but he was pretty quickly right up there. It does take a little bit for your tyres to get everything dialed in here, before you've got the grip. And of course, in qualifying, you don't want to blow it because you get enough track, then your lap doesn't count. So some of them will have been quite cautious.
Yes, I'll take the viewers through our full grid tonight, folks. So Ewan Noralampi takes pole with a 2:24.697, followed by Darryl Ridley in 2nd. Torber will start out of 3rd tonight. Mays 4th. 5th is Anthony Lucas. 6th is Kevin Willman. Joshua Skin out of 7th. 8th will be Mick Gray. 9th, Kevin Henderson. 10th is Medeski. Oh boy, that's a tongue twister, that one. 11th, Morrill. Flecknoe 12th, Garcia 13th. 14th is Lewington. 15th will be Butler. And rounding out a field of 16 is Zager. So we're just waiting for them to grid up, and we will be racing in a moment, folks.
Waiting for you to join us.
Yeah, and while we're doing that, I'll just reset our overlays so we can focus on the leader of this race. So the revs are rising now, folks. We're under starters' orders, waiting for the green light. We're underway now. Nice clean start there of round 6 of the Skip Barber Monday Lights. Ewan Noralampi on the outside, Darryl Ridley on the inside. Coming into turn 1. Let's hope they get through here. And we can see Darryl going side by side back there. Got the inside line. And boy, it's on already, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Manfred's not going to give up the inside here for the turn 3, but then Darryl gets it back again for the next one.
Oh yeah, Darryl just cut the nose there to say this corner's mine, and Manfred's sitting back there in 3rd at this stage.
Yeah, and I think he had to do that. They've already lost a ton of time to Juha just from that indecision around those first few corners, and that's not what Darryl will be wanting at all.
Yeah, that's right, and it's a nice clean start for the whole field out there at the moment, folks. We've got all the cars out there. It looks like Evgen Zagar did not make the start, so I'm not sure what's happened to him. But at the moment we have Ewan Norolampi out front, followed by Darryl Ridley. Under a lot of pressure now, Manfred Tauber in third, fourth, Anton Mays, and fifth, Anthony Lucas. So it's all class up here at the front of the field tonight.
Yes, and Darryl ran a bit wide out of the hairpin, which has given Manfred a bit of a run on him. But I think he's going to tuck in, or is he going to prove me wrong and make another go here?
We saw a similar thing happen here like this tonight. I think it was Phillip Island, wasn't it, where the second, third, fourth battled it out and really let the leader escape, which he's doing now.
That's right, and you know, I mean, I totally understand it, but it is a bit counterproductive for the guys if they want to be on the top step of the podium, because they've already let Juha get away, basically. Manfred might have been well advised just to allow that first couple of laps to play out without arguing the toss. All of these lines where you're two abreast are suboptimal, and you pay big time at this course, Bernie, when you're not on the right line.
Certainly do. This is a real momentum track, isn't it? But Ewan Norolampi at the moment, he's already got a gap of 2.8 seconds because the guys behind him now going three wide down the back straight, just battling amongst themselves here for the minor positions.
Yes, and was that Anthony Lucas that just dived into third there, got up the inside of Antoine, with Darryl in behind Antoine, followed by Kevin Willman.
And Jacek Majeski there came unstuck coming into turn two there. Fortunately, he held on to it, but he's dropped back to 10th position now.
But one of the tricky things on this track, Benny, is with the long straights, there is a substantial amount of draft to be had in these cars. So it does make it very difficult to get away in the normal course of events, which is doubly why they didn't. They really shouldn't have been fighting for those first few corners, because it's really undone them. And now I think you'll find these guys are going to be tripping over each other until something breaks. So one of them will make a move and run wide or make a mistake or something like that. Other than that, they're pretty well doomed to be running in a pack, which could make things quite interesting.
Yeah, well, at the moment, Darryl Ridley's suffering a bit out there. He's dropped all the way down to 5th position now in the space of one lap. But that's freed up Manfred Tauber now, who's starting to stretch his legs to see if he can pull in Ewan here. The gap at the moment is 2.8 seconds up to our leader, and 0.5 of a second back to third at the stage.
Yes, and I think Darryl's about to lose another potentially here to Kevin Willman.
Yeah, I think Darryl might have something wrong with that car, because he just doesn't seem to have the pace out there at the moment.
It is possible. It does seem from time to time that you get something with the car and it just won't go. They do, of course, we've seen the odd engine blow, and they blow as a result of engine damage. So it is possible that he's over-revved his engine and he's down a little bit on horsepower. That sort of thing can happen.
Yeah, I'm just having a look further through our events here. It doesn't look like he's been involved in any incident there, but Ewan Norolampi at the moment, he has set a new fastest time of a 2:25.089. Oh, and we've got a spinner in the background there.
Sorry, I didn't see who that was. I was just concentrating on this lead back. I think that this is going to unlock now. Antoine's got ahead of Lucas, of Anthony Lucas, and I think he might be able to stretch his legs a bit. Be interesting to see, though, if he can catch up to Manfred Tauber.
Yeah, so the guy I thought spun was Abelardo Rodriguez Garcia, but he managed to hang on to it, and he's circulating out there tonight in 11th position with Timothy Butler and Graham Morrell behind him in 13th there.
And Antoine's had a big twitch at a hairpin, and Anthony's come back in front of him, and he's going to have Kevin Willman breathing down his neck for the run up into Spoon now.
Yeah, these three are really going at it as we look at the through the gearbox of Anthony Lucas here, and we can see, Anthony Lucas, we can see Anton there ranging in on him, trying to get a good run onto the back straight here.
And I think he has managed a good run, Bernie. I think Anthony just had to hesitate before he went back on the power. He had a bit of a twitch mid-corner, and Antoine definitely has the inside line here. But of course, again, all of this is slowing them down, and it'll make it that much harder to bridge the gap up to Manfred.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. While these guys race, Kevin Willman's right behind these two and battling just as hard. But as I was going to say, while these guys are racing, it's just letting the other three run off.
Yeah, Manfred's in 225.1, and the other guys are at least a half second slower than that at their current pace when they're fighting it out.
Yeah, well, Manfred Torben now just set a new fastest race lap of a 2:25.009. He's managed to bring 2/10 of a gap back on Ewan Oralampi at the moment, but he's got a lot of work to do. Anton Mays at the moment has dropped 5.5 seconds down, and that's just because these three are battling back here.
Yes, you're totally correct. I read out his qualifying time, not his race time. It was a 2:25.2, and then, as you say, a 2:25.009. That's pretty handy, and that's faster than Juha is at the moment. Juha did a 2:25.2 that last time around, but Juha's a bit messy at times. He just got a lot of grass coming out of the Degner too. He won't want to be repeating that too often.
No, that's right. He doesn't want to do it too often. He might come unstuck. But Mick Gray back here in 8th is having a great battle at the moment with Joshua Skin. And it's great to see Mick having a good run so far tonight.
Yes, and Joshua put in a pretty good showing last week as well. So as the cars are coming to them now, lap 4, everything's getting warmed up. They're getting warmed up. They're getting the feel for the race. So I think we're going to end up with a battle pack with a good 5 or 6 cars in it, Bernie, that are all reasonably similarly placed, close enough anyway to be annoying, and so it really could be quite interesting.
It certainly will be, and I thought Anton might have been able to get a run, but he's not getting away from Anthony or Kevin. Kevin's having a great strong run again tonight as well, and Darryl Ridley's just hanging on the back of this pack at the moment.
Yeah, and I'd say, Kevin's had a bit of bad luck the last few races, so Kevin's really due a good race here. It'll be good to see him get up there and fight for a podium position.
Yeah, it certainly will be. I think he was pretty fast last week, if I'm not mistaken. Then again, I could be.
Yeah, he was certainly fast on the track last week, but the race didn't work out for him. I think he was one of the guys that got caught up in someone else's incident at the roller coaster at the top of the hill there at VIR. Quite a few guys just had their race wrecked early on from that. So, and pretty sure even the race before he got tangled up as well or had a spin. So, but these guys they're fighting for 3rd place. I don't think they're going to catch Manfred the way it looks. So the challenge for Manfred and Juha is just to keep it straight, drive their own race. They can basically hot lap. They wouldn't want to be too conservative, but they'll get themselves in the zone and drive it within themselves. And then it's all about who's going to come 3rd.
I'll tell you what, there's battles right down here on the tail of the field, and we've got Abelardo going wide. Brad Lewington through on him. Graham Morrell is in this battle pack, and Simon Fleckno's also having a great battle, and that, folks, is for 12th back to 15th.
Yeah, that's a tightly packed little bunch, isn't it? As Graham Morrell pushing that 6 car around the hairpin.
Yeah, these guys are having a fantastic battle, and it's great to see. It just goes to show, you know, that in this top split how competitive they are, and you know, there's action for everyone out there. Another mention should be Brad. He looks like he's having a bit of a slower night than I would have expected tonight, but I'm sure he's still enjoying this big battle he's having back here.
Yeah, well, you know, I think they're taking up less real estate than 4 of the other cars in the front, so it certainly keeps you on your toes when you're driving that close. You know, Graham Morrell very close to that car in front of him a couple of times, and I don't think going 3 wide into 130R is a good idea, boys, as they back out.
Yeah, Graham got quite close there to Abelardo, and it looks like as he's coming right up on Brad Lewington there. I tell you what, they're not shy in getting within millimetres of rubbing wheels here.
No, it is that kind of track, and of course, you know, it's a very, very technical track. So if you're right in the zone and not making mistakes, little errors from other people can really, really catch you out. Whoa! And Brad's come across on Graham then, and I don't know if Graham's going to hit the wall, but then Brad also got another little nudge. That was a bit unfortunate. Pretty sure he would have known that Graham was right next to him.
Yeah, it's he definitely tangled wheels there with Brad Lewington. I'll tell you what, Graham did a fantastic job in keeping that car off the wall. He got airborne, sideways, all sorts of things there, but main thing is he's in one piece and continuing on.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's picked up too much damage. A couple of bent front wings, and I suggest this car's probably in reasonable trim apart from that.
Yeah, and Brad's got a bent rear wing, so that's going to affect him as well, probably the top end. Oh, and Abelardo's hit Brad and put him into the fence.
Yeah, going in a straight line.
Yeah, that was a strange one. We'll just have a look on the replay of that. It just looked a bit clumsy, that's all. Brad did... Yeah, that's really strange, because Brad was trying to get out of his way, and I'm not sure if Abelardo got caught out by that, but it was a very strange incident. What do you make of that one?
Well, I think you're right. I think they have been caught out. I'm just checking here, and Abelardo's on a very high ping, plus 400 milliseconds. And none of the Aussies will be on anything like that. They're basically on 30s. So I would suggest that possibly there's a bit of netcode in that, and Abelardo just hasn't realised how close he is to the back. But, you know, Brad and Anthony are on very similar pings. There's not much in it, just 30 millisecond difference. So I don't understand the turn one, but I think Abelardo has definitely been caught out by the fact that his ping is a little bit horrid here.
Yeah, and having a look at the front, it's all action stations down here for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. We've got a battle pack of 4 now, and they're tightening up and having a great battle, as we can see Darryl on the back of that pack. Further back, we've also got Mick Gray having a great battle here with Josh Skin, and Jacek Madageski is just on the back of that battle pack. So it's looking very racy up here. But in the meantime, folks, Ewan Norilampi, can't forget our race leader, 3.3 second gap over Manfred Torber, and Manfred has over 3.7 seconds gap now over this battle pack of 4.
Yes, and you have settled into the mid-24s, mid-224s here. So he does have quite a bit of an extra turn of pace on Manfred. So I don't see Manfred catching him.
No, well, looking at the times, Ewa just responded with a 2:24.698. I don't know what he did in qualifying, but that's a really fast race time. Manfred's last lap was 2:25.007, and then Anton 2:24.885, but he just can't get away from this group.
Yeah, Anthony Lucas. I mentioned last time, Anthony's just building himself back up again. He was driving a lot last year and hasn't been driving that much this year, and so he's just finding some form again. And he's really getting on it here. He's set his car quite loose. I noticed he came around turn 1 with a fair degree of drift on. And yes, he's right up the tailpipe of Antoine and not looking like he's being outdriven here at all, Bernie. And just another thing regarding that previous incident, Brad saying that he had some problems and he hit the brakes, and then Abelardo unfortunately ran up the back of him. So a bit of dialogue in the channel about that.
Okay, well, that makes sense, because it's that did look weird. But I guess if Brad had to get on the brakes there and there's no brake lights on these open wheelers, it would have just caught Abelardo off guard there, which would have explained that incident. But at the moment, Anton in third, Anthony Lucas fourth. Anthony, as you said, having a fantastic race here. Another person having a good run is Kevin Willman, and Darryl Ridley brings up the end of this battle pack.
Yeah, and look, Darryl has settled himself down. We've seen him put in some really good showings. So I think that you'll find Darryl is in a watching brief at the moment. The guys aren't getting away. He's had a bit of an experience of being in the middle of the pack, probably not that comfortable. I think he got a bit worked over in those first few laps, so he probably wanted to get out of it and settle down. And as long as Antoine isn't getting away, I think Darryl will be content for a little while. Although they don't have that long to go, 2.5 laps to go, and it's all over. But you can't win this race in this kind of pack. You probably don't want to be leading on that last lap. You really want to be where Anthony Lucas is. He's ideally poised to take out Antoine.
Yeah, I think this third position is going to come from either Antoine or Anthony Lucas at the moment. There's definitely, as far as the top 2 positions go, they're pretty much settled unless something goes wrong with those guys. But as we can see now, Anthony Lucas coming in behind again, Anton Mays. Let's see what sort of a run he can get. But saying that, last time around he actually lifted, so Anthony's quite happy to be sitting back there in Antoine's draft at the moment.
That's right, playing a strategic game, because he knows that if he's leading on the last lap, the guys will run past him. But he may want to try his hand. He's going to have a bit of a look here. Antoine's let him go.
And Kevin's interested in having a look on the outside of Antoine, and Darryl Ridley on the inside of Kevin.
Yeah, that's interesting. That helped these guys out a bit, actually, because Kevin Willman was just starting to lose a bit of touch with these guys, a tenth or two further back than he needed to be, and that just dealt them in a little bit more, compressed them. It slowed a bit more for 130R than they normally would.
Anton down the inside into turn 1 here, he's going to take it, so Anthony's going to tuck back in behind him. Maybe that was a bit of a rehearsal for what's going to come in about another lap. As they're on the penultimate lap now, Anthony's behind Anton. Kevin Willman trying to cover that gap. Darryl Ridley's still in the back there.
Yes, and Anthony looks like he's driving well within himself, doesn't he? He can stay quite close to Antoine. I don't think he's just getting a free tow here. I think he's driving well within his capability on this track at the moment, Benny.
Oh, definitely. This isn't the draft that is pulling him along here. He's looking very racy, as again he's pestering the back of that number 5, Anton Mays, and he's having a look on the outside. Mick Gray's had a bit of an incident further back, but he continues on. We'll stay with this battle because it's only going to get hotter from here.
Yes, and Kevin Henderson thought about going up the inside of Anthony then and then thought better of it. He might have got chopped, I think, if it was pursued that one. But yeah, look, Anthony's right there on the back of Antoine at the moment. So this is lap 9 of 10. So I think we're going to be due for some fireworks on the last lap. And Antoine's just slid it into a spoon. Caught it beautifully. That's not the fastest way around the track, but it sure looks good.
Well, it shows really good race control. Anthony also had his car sideways as well. But that's allowed Kevin Willman now to get on the back here. So no doubt Kevin's going to be wanting to make a move. And if he does, this is not going to work out to Anthony's benefit, but they stay single file here coming up for the last lap, so hang on to your seats, folks.
Yes, I imagine Anthony would ideally not have Kevin breathing down his neck, and then he's free to make his own choices, but he's got to be wary of that and be a bit defensive as well, and hopefully he doesn't think about his rear vision mirrors too much here and just drives the race that's in front of him.
As we just saw our leader, Ewan Norolampi, going through, setting a new fastest lap time, 2:24.542. Manfred Tauber 4.5 seconds down, comfortably in second, but the race for third is between Anton Mays, Anthony Lucas. Darryl Ridley's now got past Kevin Willman here, but I don't think he's going to be able to close that gap.
Yeah, beautiful move around the outside into turn 1 from Darryl in. Yeah, I don't know. He's if he can pick up some time up to Spoon, he's in with a shot. Let's just see how he can do that. He might be quite quick through the Degner. You can really make up time there.
Yeah, well, he seems to be getting into that toe now as his four-wheel drift. Gee, they look spectacular. When we see these skippies, and again, he's going to that's going to cost him, and Kevin Willman goes through. So I'd probably discount Darryl from this battle about now. But up front, it's now down to Anton Mays and Anthony Lucas for the final spot on this podium.
Yeah, and look, we're not ignoring Juha and Manfred, but this is where the action is, folks, and I think it's it's really enjoyable to see with close racing in these cars. But let's acknowledge Juha's, he's been the class act. He's led them away from the first lap, 2-second gap, crossing the line first time around. So hats off to him. But this action for the third step of the podium is going to be what's exciting for us right now, I think.
Yeah, definitely, and Anthony Lucas coming up the back straight, got the toe, having to go on the outside. He's going to have to go the long way if he's going to make this move stick. Anton's on the inside, he's done it. He's pulled third position out of his hat. But Anton's not going to give up yet as they come in too wide into the chicane.
Good driving from Antoine not to push the issue there. It would have ended in tears, I think. Anthony defended that pretty well. And he's going to take the third step of the podium. Well done, Anthony Lucas. Great race, Bernie.
Oh, it was a really good race there and a great move. And unfortunately, we didn't see our leader. He's already exited the server. Ewan Norolampi takes out round 6 of the Skip Barber Monday Lights race, and I must say he pretty much once he scampered away he was untouched, and another great drive there by Manfred Tauber in second. But yeah, drive of the night I think is up there for Anthony Lucas tonight. That was a great move and a gutsy move on the outside on that last straight tonight.
Yeah, look, I tend to agree with you. It's difficult. One thought is drive of the night ought to be Juha driving away from the front, but I think you're with me, Bernie. We like the underdog. We like who had to really fight for it and stay on top of it. So I think I'd go with you for drive of the night for Anthony based on those parameters.
Yeah, and they, that whole battle pack back there, they really made it entertaining, but it really showed the skill level those guys are at to be battling so close for 10 laps around Suzuka tonight, and no car contact at all. So a great drive by all four of those drivers tonight. As we can see now, Brad Lewington, Abelardo are still out there racing for 10th and 11th, and at the moment Abelardo's got that lead. It looks like Brad's had a fast repair, and they just come into the chicane to finish the race. I'd say both those guys had to come in for fast repairs, but they're still out there having a go.
Yeah, I think it's actually 14th and 15th position, Bernie.
Yeah, you're right, it is 14th and 15th position. I was getting a bit excited there. But folks, let's have a look at our results tonight of a fantastic Skip Barber Monday lights here at Suzuka. Ewanora Lampe, 5-second gap. He didn't only take pole, he also got the fastest lap time of a 2:24.518, and the trifecta, of course, is he wins tonight. Manfred Tauber in second, Anthony Lucas, great drive there in third, Anton Mays in fourth position, fifth, Darryl Ridley, he got in front of Kevin Willman there, Mick Gray, great drive there in seventh position, eighth was Medeski, then Kevin Henderson, then we had Flecknoe in 10th.
Followed by Timothy Butler in 11th, Joshua Skin in 12th, Graham Morrell in 13th, Abelardo in 14th, Brad Lewington in 15th, and Evgen Zagard doesn't appear to have turned a lap, Bernie.
Yeah, Evgen unfortunately did not make the start tonight, but all the same, we were treated to a fantastic race there of 15 cars in the Skip Barber Monday lights. But of course, remember, there's another two splits here, and we're not sure how they went tonight because we're not covering those races. But it's going to be interesting to see how this point score shakes out.
Yeah, it is, and we can already see actually from the top 10 that some of the guys in the second split have made their way into the top 10 of the Monday Lights Championship. And maybe I'll just quickly run through that top 10. Do you think that's a good idea, Bernie? I'll just quickly read that out for the viewers. I won't give the points, but there's not much in it in terms of points.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go through them because it looks like Brad Lewington was in second, but he's going to suffer a bit tonight as far as the points go, I think.
That's right. We had Darryl Ridley out in front with a 10-point lead, 83 to Brad's 73, followed by Mick Gray in third place, just a couple of points behind, and Ben Conroy, who's been doing really well in the second splits, again just a couple of points adrift, and Ben Seidel, just half a dozen points behind Ben Conroy, followed up by Jason Willman, just a few points behind, also from the second split. Anton Mays in 7th, Lucas Deere in 8th, Duhar was in 9th. He will have propelled himself up after that result tonight. He had a poor showing last week. And then Craig Deschon rounding out the top 10 on 63. So there's only 20 points across those top 10 drivers, Benny. Yeah,
that's right. And Kevin Willman was down in 15th, but again, with his strong run tonight, he'll probably jump up a few spots there as well. So that'll be interesting to see. And we'll have to try and bring all that action of that second split to our viewers, just so they can see how Ben Conroy and Ben Seidel are going down there in that second split.
Yeah, maybe we should do a sneaky broadcast of the second split one week just for fun, Benny.
Yeah, definitely. We can. I think it'd be well worth covering those other splits because, you know, the strength of field in these races is quite high, and I'm sure the other two splits will be battling just as hard out there, and it would be just as entertaining for our viewers.
Yeah, and the whole point about this series is to support the developing drivers. You know, we talk about it a lot, that the Skip Barber is a development car, and where a lot of people learn their craft. It happens that in this particular series we also have a lot of really accomplished drivers who stay around and continue to race. And you know, there's a number of drivers racing the Skip Barber at the moment who've been racing it for 5 years, and And boy, have they ever developed their craft. They are seriously quick. And a number of aliens, in fact, quite a few pro drivers, they'll race the Formula Ones one week and then turn up in our Skip Barber races, and they're regular attendees. So it makes it a very, very edgy series. Great driving, and you can really learn how to get your car around the track in it, Benny.
Oh, definitely. You've got to get these cars on the edge, and we could see tonight the fantastic four-wheel drifting of you out there in front, and the great car control of Anthony and Anton recovering from those slides. And Graham Morrell did a fantastic job staying off the wall in that big contact with, I think there was Brad Lewington. But anyway, folks, it's probably time for us to wrap up our broadcast tonight. So, Richard, any final thoughts of tonight's race?
Oh, look, I think Suzuka lived up to its reputation. It's a really, really difficult track, and that means that the accomplished really get to show their hand. And you have those cards on the table tonight and drove away with it. But because it's a real driver's track and the way it is, it promotes action, and so we got some pretty exciting dicing, wheel-to-wheel stuff from the guys. So it's great. It's just a fantastic circuit. But next week, Bathurst.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting. We're just having a look at the start again, folks, here from the point of view of Timothy Butler back here in 11th, and you can just see how much traffic he's got ahead of him there as he makes his way through the first couple of corners on the first lap. But anyway, folks, if you like your open wheel racing, definitely tune in this Thursday night for the Star Mazda Australian Championship, and then this Sunday we'll be bringing you the Australian New Zealand Skip Barber Championship, starting from what time do we go on air there? About 1:45, I think it is, followed by the Open Star Mazda Australian Championship. So there's a lot of open wheeler action for our RRTV viewers this weekend. And then, of course, following up from that, we'll be covering the SEK Queensland next Sunday night, SEK Queensland race. For those viewers who may have watched the replay of that, I must apologise for the poor frame rates. The problem was we had 47 cars racing around Spa last night, and my computer was just groaning trying to stream all that action. So my apologies to all you guys out there. Also, if you want to keep up with any iRacing news, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/redbackracingtv, and I'll try and bring you any news as it comes to hand. Apart from that, if you like tonight's video, just press the like button. As usual, if you think we can improve our broadcast, leave a nice comment and I'll read them and see what we can do to better accommodate you guys. But anyway, Richard, fantastic race tonight. Thanks for coming in. Did you want to say good night to our viewers?
Yeah, and had a lot of fun. We're quite enjoying doing this series, aren't we, Bernie? So we're certainly going to keep at it. We like the development. I suppose just a final thought. Big shout out to Daniel Ricciardo for a great showing and a gutsy drive last night in Hungary.
Oh yeah, he really turned it on, didn't he? But anyway, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. On behalf of Richard Craig, I'm Bernie Wiemers, and thanks for watching RRTV.